How y'all doing?
Good. Once y'all get ready, let me know. I'm all set. Project, you got enough room so Austin doesn't turn around into you?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Austin's good. Coach, opening statement, we'll open for questions.
Great weekend. Another solid performance for our football team for Jackson State football. Came out, played well in the vet against a good Southern football team. Good job on the ground, running the ball. Our offensive line had a great day out there. We wanted to emphasize the run, and try to play physical with those guys. And I think they did a good job up front. Those five dudes, challenging Southern on the line of scrimmage. Quite a few backs that ran hard, getting Irv Mulligan back, J.D. Martin, it was good. But very proud of our football team from this past weekend.
You get a chance to speak with your defensive coordinator every week, and last week he was telling us at this point he was not happy specifically, but this week, it just looked like it shut down Southern. There were pass blocks, there were sacks, there were pressures. What did you see from the defense and how they stepped up in a week since last week?
Well, we always we emphasize taking away the run. I thought they did that first thing first. They dominated the line of scrimmage over there too with our D-line and those linebackers. They played at a high level and they took the run away. So, and we was able to get the lead, offensively score some early touchdowns. So we made them one-dimensional, made them put the football in the air. I think their starter ended up getting banged up a little bit, so they was relying on one guy. But, that's the challenge every week I put on the defense, and Coach Quinn, those guys, they know I want to emphasize stopping the run.
Coach, in your press conference, you said, you built this team for December. Are there just some early aspects that are sticking out about your team that, gives you confidence that you guys will be playing?
Yeah, every week, they show me something different. The Monroe game, I thought we played well. We did what we were supposed to do the lane, but this past weekend, a conference opponent, to go out there and really just dominate those guys this weekend, I think every week we're getting better. I can seriously say we're getting better every week. It's just guys stepping up too. Every week it's a pleasant surprise out there on the football field. Guys stepping up. KJ, the corner, true freshman corner, had to play this past weekend. Did a heck of a job to get Travis Terrell back. But every week we're just getting better as a football team.
Can you kind of highlight your next opponent, Grambling? And kind of what you see from them?
I was just watching them. I had to come in here, so I've been watching them this weekend. A couple of games that they played. I saw a little bit of the Commerce game, but very stout defense. Kind of what we saw this past weekend. They have some great size on the defensive side of football. This past weekend we played the defensive preseason player of the year. This weekend we'll have the offensive player of the year in Miles Crawley. So we'll try to get after him up front with our defensive line. He's a good football player. So they're a solid team. They're a solid team, but just the next opponent on the schedule for us.
Is there an update on Cam's injury at all?
He should be good. He moved around a little bit yesterday. So just had to get a couple stitches in his eye from this past weekend. Probably could have came back in the second half, but, we were up. So I, let Jacobian finish the weekend out.
And the wrist is all fine?
Yeah, everything's good.
What exactly happened on that play? Because I just saw him holding his helmet, but obviously didn't take it out.
Yeah, I actually thought, it was a great job of him scrambling to his left. I thought he was gone, with the speed he has. But when he tried to split the guys, he fell on his face and his helmet actually slid down and caught his eye a little bit. So that's why he ended up with stitches.
Obviously, he's a dual threat. I think we realize that at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Running.
Yeah.
That was no secret. First play of the last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He ran for a touchdown. But is there any conversation with him about, anything, 2 weeks in a row leaving with injuries on running plays?
Definitely.
Or is it
Yeah, I was.
kind of, hey, this is football and we're just going to keep sending you out there as long as you keep getting
Yeah, I was talking to him about him yesterday. I was like, can you finish a game for me? Can you finish a game? Because people want to kind of say the dual threat, but that guy can really throw the football, and that's what I want him to have that opportunity to show how really good of a quarterback he is. He got banged up with the knee last weekend, and then this weekend with the eye, the stitches and stuff. But he's a really explosive player with his legs, like you said, and throwing the ball. So we just want to keep him upright. But he got to do the right things too. I told him in certain situations you can't be trying to make house calls every time. Sometimes as a quarterback you got to be smart and know when to get down.
What does it say about Jacobian, though, that, not only these past 2 weeks that he's had to come in, but, last year's story was that he was also backup and became the starter later in the year. So What does it say about him, like you said in the post-game press conference, I'm ready to do my job, but that he can consistently come in and I think both times score a touchdown on like the first drive?
I think it shows how mentally strong he is, you know, and love, you know, this program and want to do what he's supposed to do when it's time called. You know, we made a decision to go with Cam this weekend, but Jacoby prepared like he was the starter the entire time. That's why he was able to come in and do the things he did.
I know you've reiterated a lot about Irv and JD coming back, but how much does it help, especially going into SWAC play, you know, having them back?
Makes it easy. You know, it makes it easy. Those guys really came out and set the tone. And we had a pitch count on both. You know, you didn't really see a lot of them in the second half, you know, with those guys. They hadn't played football since last year. You know, they've been out here running and doing things like that, but to finally get some contact, we had to be mindful of that. But it just picks up the energy in that entire room. You seen Ahmad, you know, wanted to get in there, and he made a strong run. Terrell made some strong runs. Amari made some strong runs. But anytime you can get two elite backs like that, it makes us more lethal as an offense.
Got time for one more question if you got one.
Well, Coach, when you just talk about your running back room, you have so much depth there. You know, you kind of talked about sharing the wealth with your running backs. Can you just talk about maybe some of the things that you hope to see from them in the future? Because they're already starting off, you know, pretty strong. Can you just talk about what you want to see from them, I guess, coming up?
Just to continue to grow and push each other. You know, they really compete in that room, and they love to see the next man, you know, have a good football game. But it's kind of tough at times as a play caller because, you know, most backs want to carry the ball 15, 20 times, and I try to tell those guys the way our offensive line is blocking and having a great year. You know, 4 or 5 carries can be the difference in the game for you. So they push each other, they compete, but it's a friendly competition. So it's good to have a group like that. You know, we got young guys, the older guys, and they all get along well.
Coach, you ready? That's it? Coach Wynn's coming.
All right, thank y'all.
Thanks.
All right, y'all be safe.
How y'all doing? Hello. All right, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
I'll say the same. Happy Monday.
Same to you.
We're all here.
All right, when everybody's ready, open the floor for questions.
Coach, just talk about, you know, what you saw from your team this week facing a SWAC opponent.
We were striking blockers. I think that's where it started with up front. The kids bought into it. Coach James does a great job of preaching that as well. And it showed up. Disappointed how the back end played in the second half, just wasn't on the same page. Thought we'd start to watch the clock and start to get a little relaxed. We didn't hone into the details, and it showed. So decided to get that fixed.
So you talked about last week wanting to finish the game, and that was kind of the biggest thing. So you're saying that happened again?
Oh, yeah. Still chopping wood. You know, we're still trying to get them to understand how to finish opponents off. You know, you can tell by the behavior on the sideline. Everybody get a little relaxed. You see guys starting to look in the stands, and I'm gonna take care of that today.
I'm guessing you're not upset that the team has such a lead that they could feel that way, but no matter what the score is, it's got to be 0-0 in their mind. Is that kind of what the conversation is like?
Without a doubt. That's the exact message at halftime. 0-0. Go back to the basic. Go back to what the pitchers tell us, and let's be on the same page. And we didn't do that.
Can you talk about the running defense that you had? I think they barely even only had 30 yards, I think, the whole game.
Well, I think it starts with, you know, Mondays. We're in their game planning now. And the first question I ask every coach is, what does it take from a defense standpoint to win this game? And last week they said, hey, we got to stop this run. You know, this offense coordinator is going to run the ball. And so we made sure that the game plan was as such, to stop the run. As you see, we gave up a lot of passing yards.
Who are some of the guys that are standing out to you as leaders on the defense as the season goes on?
Josh Noble, Phillip Webbs, really the whole D-line. Jeremiah Williams, True Thompson. Them guys just roll their sleeves up, man. Hard coaching from Coach James. I can promise you, ever came to a practice, you're hearing from first whistle to the last one. And he getting the most out of them guys.
Coach, what kind of problems would Grambling give you this weekend?
Well, getting up a lot of passing yards last week. We got to stop the pass. Great quarterback, preseason All-American, great receiving core, tough running backs, athletic running backs that can excel in the passing game as well. So we got our handful this week.
But you kind of say, you know, maybe during the game or even halftime on the sideline when you kind of said that some players are kind of, you know, getting a little bit loose and looking to the stands? What do you kind of tell them to make sure they, you know, stay in the game and stay focused?
Well, the first thing was just the verbal part of telling them to lock in. Step 2 is today.
Is it just from youth that you think that's happening? Like just lack of, not maybe lack of experience, but just being young and excited maybe?
I think it comes with winning. Sometimes you can dominate your opponent too fast, where guys just feel like it's over, like it's impossible for them to come back. And I think that's the feel that they have. And I got to do a better job of creating that mindset as 0-0. And we got to finish guys off.
In your coaching career up to this point, have you had a similar situation like this in the past? And if so, how did that kind of play out later in the year?
It's different. We got some guys now. We got some talent. Probably the best talent I've seen in the SWAC. And I done played for championships at Alcorn. We got some guys, all 22 starters. Probably the next 22 behind them as well can be starters. So when you're playing with that type of talent, you expect to dominate opponents.
Everybody good?
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.